Ever heard of something called zombie deer disease? If that title alone doesn't grab your attention, the reality of this disease surely will. Also known as chronic wasting disease or CWD, it's been wreaking havoc on deer populations across North America and has even made appearances in Europe and Asia. Zombie deer disease, as the name suggests, affects the brains of deer, causing them to exhibit zombie-like behavior. They become emaciated, lose coordination, and display abnormal behavior such as excessive drooling and aggression. The disease is caused by misfolded proteins called prions, which can be transmitted through saliva, urine, and feces. Once an animal is infected, there is no cure or treatment, and the disease is always fatal. CWD was first identified in the late 1960s in captive deer in Colorado, but it has since spread to wild deer populations in 26 states in the US and several Canadian provinces. It has also been found in elk, moose, and reindeer. The spread of CWD is a major concern for wildlife management agencies, as it poses a threat to both deer populations and the ecosystems they inhabit. Efforts are being made to control the disease through hunting regulations and testing of harvested deer. In addition to the impact on wildlife, there are concerns about the potential transmission of CWD to humans. While there have been no reported cases of humans contracting the disease, studies have shown that it can be transmitted to non-human primates in laboratory settings. As the name suggests, zombie deer disease is a serious and alarming threat to deer populations. It's a reminder of the complex challenges faced by wildlife managers and the importance of monitoring and addressing emerging diseases. So next time you see a deer in the wild, remember the hidden danger that lurks beneath their seemingly peaceful appearance. Zombie deer disease is a real and growing problem that demands our attention and action. CWD is a prion disease, a type of disorder that affects the brain and nervous system of animals. Prions are tricky little proteins, nearly impossible to destroy, and they spread through direct contact, bodily fluids, or even contaminated food and water. If you're picturing a deer with a droopy head, dull eyes, and an emaciated body, you're not far off the mark. The impact of this disease is not to be underestimated. For the deer, elk, and moose populations it targets, CWD is always fatal, leading to rapid deterioration and ultimately death. This has a devastating effect on the ecosystem and also hits the economy. Deer hunting, a popular sport and significant source of income in many areas, is heavily affected by the spread of CWD. Now, the burning question, can CWD affect humans? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there's no strong evidence to suggest that it can. But, and this is a big but, there's also no definitive proof that it can't. This uncertainty, coupled with the fact that CWD shares similarities with variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, a prion disease that can affect humans, calls for caution. The CDC recommends several precautions to avoid exposure to CWD. If you're a hunter, test your deer before consumption. Avoid deer that look sick. Wear gloves when handling deer, use sharp knives, and minimize contact with the brain, spinal cord, eyes, spleen, tonsils, and lymph nodes of harvested deer. And of course, avoid eating raw or undercooked deer meat. So what's the takeaway here? Chronic wasting disease or zombie deer disease poses a serious threat to wildlife and raises concerns about potential human transmission. It's crucial to follow CDC guidelines to minimize exposure and ensure safety. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and take necessary precautions. This is not just about the health and safety of our deer populations, but potentially about our own as well.